take 2. Alright, so I'm gonna try this video again because I kind of messed it up the first time. So hi, today I am doing a series of 3 videos. One that is going to be posted for immediate release, and the other 2 will be part of my yearly wrap-up series for the end of the year. So those will be filmed and scheduled to be posted on New Year's Eve. So the first reading update that I wanted to share in this video is for the Bromance book club series. This series was recommended to me by Destiny Sidwell and Sarah Caroli, and it is centered upon a group of cowboys who are trying to fix their relationships with their significant others. So they decide to form a book club where they read romance books to see how they can fix their relationships. And I have just really enjoyed this series so far. I read the first book a couple of weeks ago, and I gave it 4 stars. And this book will probably get 4 stars as well. I just really love all of these characters and the dynamics that they have. I love the dynamics between the guys in the Bromance book club, and I love the relationship between Liv and Mac. And Mac just seems like such a sweetheart. I think he's my favorite character out of all the guys in this series. So, and then I am reading the Christmas installment of the Bromance book club series called A Very Merry Bromance. So, these books will probably both be 4 stars, like the first book in the series. And the next book is a holiday new release that just came out a couple of weeks ago. It's called Let It Glow by Marissa, Meyer, and Joanne, Levy. And, so this is a middle grade novel, and the girls in this book seem to be between the ages of 10 and 12, 4th through 6th grade. And it's kind of like a Parent Trap kind of deal because the girls switch places so they can celebrate the holidays. Holly is Jewish. Holly is Christian, and she switches places with Aviva, who is Jewish, and they go to each other's houses to celebrate their holidays. And I really enjoy reading books about Hanukkah because I don't really know much about the Jewish religion, so I like learning about Hanukkah a lot through Aviva's character and also through the characters in the book Kissing Kosher by Jean Meltzer, which is a Hanukkah book that I read last year. Well, I'm not sure if I would necessarily call it a Hanukkah book, but it focuses around a Jewish faith and people preparing for Hanukkah. So I'm going to give this book 4 stars most likely because I just love the dynamic between Holly and Aviva, and I also, like I said, love learning about the Jewish faith in Hanukkah. So I have never read anything by Joanne Levy before, but I started off the year by reading the Renegades trilogy and the Lunar Chronicle series by Marissa, Meyer, and also Heartless, which is a retelling of the Queen of Hearts and her origin story. The Queen of Hearts is the villain, as we know, from Alice in Wonderland. And I really liked, what I liked about Heartless was the fact that it gives a layer of development to the Queen of Hearts that you don't know from seeing her in the animated movie of Alice in Wonderland or in the live action movie that Tim Burton put out with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. And what I like the most about the series that the Renegades trilogy is that basically it reimagines superheroes. Like, I felt like I was in a Marvel superhero movie, and I'm a big, aside from the Disney princess movies, I also love the Marvel superhero movies. My favorite superhero from Marvel is probably Iron Man. And then my favorite character in Renegades trilogy is Nova, who is the main female character in these books. And if I could have any superhero power, it would probably be invisibility. And then for the Lunar Chronicle series, I am just rereading this series again because I'm trying to get ideas for my own fairy tale that I'm going to write in a couple of months, because that's one of my writing goals for 2024 is to write my own fairy tales. So I'm trying to read as many fairy tales or fairy tale retellings as research. So what the Lunar Chronicle series does is like it's a dystopian future fairy tale retelling where Cinderella is a cyborg. So there's a lot of conversations we can have about this book around technology and how, like, memory chips can eventually be embedded into people and stuff like that. And I think it's also cool that Cinderella is a cyborg, and she also so the plot line of this book is that there's a virus. There's basically a pandemic going on, and there's a virus going on, and Cinderella helps the doctor in this book with distributing the vaccinations. And one of the discussion questions that I answered was it fair and just for her family to get the vaccination first before anybody else did? And, like, I guess that could be seen as unethical because you don't know what kind of pre-existing conditions that the family members might have had, and if it was more urgent for people with the pre-existing conditions to get the vaccination before the general public, like what happened with COVID, then I'm not totally sure if what Dr. Erland and Cinder did was justified. If you ever read this book, I would really love to hear what your opinion of that is. So I gave Cinder 4 stars, and I'm giving this book 4.5 stars. And then the final book I wanted to talk about and give progress on was Magic Hour by Kristin Hannah. Kristin Hannah has fast become one of my favorite authors this year. This is probably the 8th book I have read by her, maybe the 9th. So I first started reading off with Firefly Lane, and then I fell into reading all of her historical fictions. The Women, The Great Alone, The Nightingale, and then this one is more like fantasy, I guess, because it's about, I don't know, maybe it's not fantasy. This might, I can look that up because I have Goodreads open. What are we looking for? Magic Hour. Okay, so Goodreads lists Magic Hour as romance, mystery, fiction, contemporary. So this book is set in Washington State, so the Pacific Northwest, and it's about a woman named Julia who is a child psychiatrist, and she comes in contact with this girl named Alice, who has obviously been abused by her father. So trigger warning for abuse. If you've been in abusive situations, please handle this book with caution. So basically, Alice is feral and acts like an animal, and what Julia does is she tries to train her to have more human personality aspects, so that way she can associate with people her own age and go to school. So I just really think this is very interesting. And also the dad is going on trial for abusing Alice. So that's another aspect of this book that adds intensity to the plot that I really like. In Magic Hour, I am currently on chapter 23, page 332. In Let It Glow, I am on page 177, chapter 31. In Undercover Bromance, I am on chapter 27, page 288. And A Very Merry Bromance, I am on chapter 16, page 218. So, thank you for tuning in. I have 2 new videos coming out on Tuesday night, so please stay tuned for those, and stay tuned for Matt and I's entertainment wrap-up on the 30th, where we will be talking about other books we've been reading, movies we've been seeing, and all other related entertainment updates for November. That will be available on November 30th at 10 a.m. And have a good night.